Hello, my kindergarten scientists. How are you doing today? Today we're going to do a little science lesson about living versus non-living things, okay? Now, when we're trying to figure out if something is living or if it's a non-living thing, scientists are going to ask themselves four questions, okay? The first question is, does it eat? And the second question is, does it grow? And the third question is, does it move by itself, not with help, by itself? And the fourth question is, does it reproduce? And that's a really fancy word for saying, does it make more of itself? Okay? And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be asking these questions about two things. We're going to be comparing gummy worms to real life worms. Okay? So what you're going to be needing today for materials, real simple for you because I've got everything else right here. You're going to need a piece of paper, okay? And you're also going to need a pencil. Now, if you have crayons, that's great. If you don't worry about it. But you're going to need your piece of paper. You're going to fold it in half. Sometimes we call this like a hot dog bun fold because it's nice and long like this. And when you set it up, you're going to draw a line right down the middle. And then at the top of it, you're going to draw like this, okay? Do you see how you have the label worm on one side and gummy worm on the other side, okay? So fold it in half, line down the middle. If you need to pause the video so that you can catch up and do this part, that's okay. Go ahead and pause it and then turn it back on and the lesson will continue, okay? All right, so we're gonna start with that. Now, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna look at an actual gummy worm and we're going to look at an actual worm and we're going to compare the two and we're gonna ask ourselves those four questions that good scientists ask themselves when they're trying to figure out if something is living or non-living, okay? Now, Miss Tan's students, you're gonna recognize these worms, okay? We had them in our classroom for a while. We know that my worms eat my garbage, okay? And we learned a little bit about that. Or if you were in my gardening club, you will know that. So I have some real life worms here today from my worm bin, okay? My worm farm, I call it. And I have some gummy worms too. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna move the video here and we're gonna take a look at our gummy worms. I put those out already. And are you ready for this? We're gonna take a look at some real life worms here. Do you see that? Woo! Oh boy. Now, the first question is, does it eat? So do our gummy worms eat? Well, I don't think they eat. I don't think so, nope. Do my worm farm worms eat? Well, yeah, because I always say they eat my garbage. This one's trying to get away here. Go back, go back. Okay, now the next question is, does it grow? Are the gummy worms going to get any bigger than this? Well, they're not going to get any bigger. What about, my worm farm worms? Are they going to grow? Well, if I look at my worm farm worms here, I'm going to notice that some of them are really, really big and some are very tiny. Those tiny ones are baby worms, okay? And so I know that those baby worms are going to grow bigger someday, and that means that they do grow, okay? Now the next question is, do they move? Well, maybe as you can see already, I'm kind of having to corral some of these and convince them to go back to the group. My gummy worms, I haven't had to do a whole lot. They just kind of sit there. The only time they move is if I actually move them with my hand. They don't move, so I don't think they're living. But here, yep, this one's trying to get away again. This one's busy. Okay, go back on in there. these do move. They're trying to get away. They're trying to find somewhere where it's nice and dark. Oh, come back, come back, come back. All right. Oh, okay. And then the last question is, does it reproduce? Does it make more of itself? If I leave these 2 gummy worms here and I come back tomorrow or a month from now, are there going to be more gummy worms? Are they going to make more of themselves? Will there be baby gummy worms here? No, that's not going to happen. That'd be really neat, but that's not what happens in real life. Okay. Oops, this one really got away. Ah, get back there. All right. But I started off with 200 worms in my worm farm, and now I have probably close to 2,000. So they have definitely grown and they've reproduced, which means they've made more of themselves. Okay, I feed them pretty well. They get a lot of vegetable scraps. So we're going to come back up here. Excuse me. And I want you on your paper to draw what the real worms looked like. I got to put them back because they're trying to escape. And what the gummy worms looked like. And I want you to draw some of your observations about what you saw happening with the real worms. I want you to draw some of your observations about what you saw happening with the gummy worms. Probably not a whole lot. So this is going to be our first little lesson this week on living and non-living things. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. Don't forget to record what your observations were, and we'll have more later on this week. Thanks, kindergarten scientists. We'll see you later. Bye.